Let's talk about something a little unsettling. The end of the world as we know it. In 5 billion years, our sun will expand to consume Earth, but we may not survive long enough to witness that cosmic finale. From asteroid impacts capable of global extinction to supervolcanoes that could plunge us into decades of winter, science has identified 5 distinct apocalyptic scenarios with the potential to end life as we know it. What's most unsettling isn't just that these events could happen, but that one of them is mathematically inevitable, and the countdown may have already begun. So buckle up as we explore the science behind these apocalyptic scenarios, assess their likelihood, and discuss what, if anything, we can do to avert disaster. Because while contemplating the end of the world might seem a bit grim, understanding the risks is the first step towards ensuring our survival. Welcome to Planetary Possibilities. My name is Arya. Let's start with everyone's favourite planetary hazard asteroids. These celestial wanderers, remnants from the early solar system, hurtle through space at incredible speeds, and every now and then, their path intersects with Earth's. Now, most of these are harmless, burning up in our atmosphere as shooting stars. But every once in a while, a big one comes along. We're talking miles wide, the kind that could blot out the sun, trigger global firestorms, and send tsunamis surging across continents. Sound familiar? It should. 66 million years ago, an asteroid about 6 miles wide slammed into the Yucatan Peninsula, ending the reign of the dinosaurs and wiping out nearly 3/4 of all plant and animal species on Earth. That impact, the Chicxulub impact, released an unimaginable amount of energy, equivalent to billions of atomic bombs detonating simultaneously. But here's the thing. Events like Chicxulub aren't just ancient history. They're a very real threat, and we're constantly scanning the skies for potential hazards. The good news is, we're getting better at it. NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office is dedicated to detecting and tracking potentially hazardous objects. And missions like the DART mission, which successfully altered the trajectory of a small asteroid, demonstrate our growing capabilities in planetary defense. But even with our best efforts, the vastness of space makes it impossible to detect every potential threat. There could be a city-killer asteroid heading our way right now, hidden in the glare of the sun, and we wouldn't even know it. The odds of a major impact in our lifetime are slim, but the consequences are so dire that we can't afford to ignore the risk. Now, let's move from outer space to our own backyard, because lurking beneath our feet are forces capable of unleashing unimaginable destruction: supervolcanoes. These aren't your average volcanoes. We're talking eruptions thousands of times more powerful than anything in recorded history, capable of ejecting cubic miles of ash and rock into the atmosphere. One of the most well-known supervolcanoes is nestled right here in the United States Yellowstone National Park. Beneath its serene beauty lies a slumbering giant, a magma chamber so vast that its eruption could blanket much of North America in a thick layer of ash, plunging the planet into a volcanic winter that could last for decades. The last time Yellowstone erupted on a supervolcanic scale was 630,000 years ago, and while there's no indication that another eruption is imminent, it's a stark reminder of the immense power that lies dormant beneath our feet. And Yellowstone isn't alone. From Indonesia to Italy, supervolcanoes around the globe pose a constant, albeit statistically improbable, threat to civilization. The good news is, unlike asteroid impacts, which can occur with little warning, supervolcanoes give us some hints before they blow their tops. Ground deformation, increased seismic activity, and changes in gas emissions can all signal an impending eruption, potentially giving us time to prepare. But what does preparation even look like for an event of this magnitude? Evacuating millions of people, securing food and water supplies, and mitigating the global climate impacts would be a monumental challenge, to say the least. It's a sobering thought, but one that underscores the importance of understanding and monitoring these geological giants. Now, let's journey beyond our solar system to the vast cosmic arena, where some of the most energetic events in the universe unfold: gamma-ray bursts. These bursts are brief, intense flashes of gamma rays, the highest energy form of light, thought to be released during the collapse of massive stars or the collision of neutron stars. For a few fleeting seconds, a gamma-ray burst can outshine an entire galaxy, releasing more energy in that short span than our sun will emit in its entire 10 billion-year lifespan. If one of these bursts were to occur within a few thousand light-years of Earth, and, crucially, if its beam were pointed directly at us, the consequences would be catastrophic. Gamma rays would rip through our atmosphere, destroying the ozone layer that protects us from harmful ultraviolet radiation. The surface would be bathed in lethal doses of radiation, potentially triggering a global extinction event. And the worst part? We'd have virtually no warning. Thankfully, gamma-ray bursts are incredibly rare events, and the odds of one occurring close enough to Earth to pose a threat are astronomically small. But their sheer power and unpredictability serve as a stark reminder of our vulnerability in the cosmic expanse. While asteroid impacts, supervolcano eruptions, and gamma-ray bursts represent sudden and dramatic threats to our existence, there's a slower, more insidious danger we're facing right now: climate change. This isn't some distant threat, it's happening right now, and its effects are being felt around the globe. Rising sea levels, more frequent and intense heat waves, extreme weather events, and disruptions to ecosystems are all consequences of our warming planet. And if we fail to act, the consequences will only become more severe. We're talking about mass extinctions, widespread crop failures, and societal collapse. Unlike the other apocalyptic scenarios we've discussed, climate change isn't an unavoidable cosmic event. It's a crisis of our own making, driven by human activity. But that also means we have the power to change course. Transitioning to renewable energy sources, reducing our reliance on fossil fuels, and adopting sustainable practices are all essential steps in mitigating the worst effects of climate change. It's a daunting challenge, but one that we must confront head-on if we want to ensure a habitable planet for future generations. Now, let's face the ultimate truth. Even if we manage to avoid all of the other apocalyptic scenarios, there's one fate we can't escape: the life cycle of our own sun. Like all stars, our sun is engaged in a delicate balancing act, fusing hydrogen into helium in its core and releasing an immense amount of energy in the process. But this process can't last forever. In about 5 billion years, the sun will exhaust the hydrogen fuel in its core and begin to expand, transforming into a red giant. As it swells in size, its outer layers will engulf the inner planets, including Earth. Our planet, once teeming with life, will be reduced to a barren, lifeless rock consumed by the very star that gave it life. It's a sobering thought, but it's the inevitable fate of every star, and our sun is no exception. But 5 billion years is a long time. It's longer than there's been complex life on Earth, and it's more than enough time for us to evolve, adapt, and perhaps even find a way to escape our solar system and explore the cosmos. The end of Earth may be inevitable, but it doesn't have to be the end of humanity. By understanding the forces at play in the universe, by embracing science and technology, and by working together, we can ensure that our species has a future, even if our home planet doesn't. Well, there you have it, folks. 5 ways the world could end, from catastrophic asteroid impacts to the inevitable expansion of our sun. It's enough to make you want to crawl under a rock, isn't it? But before you do, remember this: knowledge is power. By understanding the risks we face, we can start to prepare for them, mitigate them, and maybe even avoid them altogether. And even if some events are beyond our control, we can still use our ingenuity and our collective will to ensure the survival of our species. So, what do you think? Which of these apocalyptic scenarios do you find most concerning? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more thought-provoking content exploring the wonders and perils of the universe.